This is Roxy the Slayer, and today I've got something special for fans of Spider-Man, and that of Andrew Garfield. As a fan, I have written this essay discussing how Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man fits in the Sony Verse, and the many clues that back this up, as well as possibilities. I'll put out one warning in this video that it will contain spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, but I've guessed if you are watching this video you would have seen it by now, so I'm going to share my honest thoughts on this subject. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get into it. In this report, I will be discussing the popular theory that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man duology might be making a large comeback, not only for a long-awaited third film, but multiple projects. This begs the question, maybe this Spider-Man exists in the same universe as Venom and Morbius, who are played by Tom Hardy and Jared Leto in their movies respectively. With his surprise appearance alongside Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man No Way Home, this opens the door for more appearances within and outside the MCU, allowing Tom Holland to continue to play Spider-Man in his solo films at Marvel Studios, and allow Sony's universe to be separate. Here I will explain how this all connects and how we can see much more to come from this other Spider-Man. Throughout this essay, we will discuss how Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was handled in Spider-Man No Way Home, and what we learned about the character since we left his story in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where, after a bout of depression, losing Gwen and disappearing, he eventually returned to save a city in need back in 2014. This Spider-Man had lost his love Gwen Stacy, and we learn how it impacts his tenure as a wall crawler. He reveals that he stopped pulling his punches, meaning he got bitter and violent, maybe losing control of himself along the way. Through this revelation, we know that he has been struggling to get over Gwen's death, and it had led him to a dark place. The conversation between three Spider-Man about loss allows this alternative Spider-Man to open up and try to understand the MCU's Peter Parker's feelings on a deeper level. This shows that Garfield's Spider-Man is trying to move on in this moment. He doesn't want anyone else to become like him during that dark place, and that is integral to his character at this moment. We then move forward to a scene where the three Spider-Men figure out how they will cure the villains. We see this Peter Parker contributing by creating some of these cures due to his knowledge and science. We see how clever and observational this Peter Parker really is, and how he can bring his ideas forward in this team effort. We also see that Peter's longing for love as seen in the MCU version of Peter and MJ's relationship, and how it reminds him of what he had with Gwen. This shows his hidden vulnerability as he misses what he once had. This also prompts for Tobey's Spider-Man to ask if he has someone, which sees this Spider-Man shrug off and his emotions. This also leads into the final battle, where the three Spider-Men fight together, and this Spider-Man gets to experience how to work in a team. With that, we also get a conversation where the three Spider-Men discuss the most coolest villains they had fought. This Spider-Man learns that the other two have fought aliens, which makes him think he is lame in comparison, as he hadn't fought an alien, and makes him desire to fight one. Tobey's Spider-Man then tells him that he is amazing, a reassurance that this Spider-Man truly needed, not only for the character, but his decisive movies as well, that aren't as popular as Tobey and Tom's movie iterations. We also see that this Spider-Man comes to appreciate the other two Spider-Men he has now met and progresses how much he loves being in their company, delivered in a somewhat satisfying but laughable exchange. I love you guys. In the solo, we get to see this Spider-Man regain closure as he cures Dr. Kirk Connors and Max Dillon, the Lizard and Electro, of their powers in order to save them from their fates. Whom he was unable to save from their villainous turns in his universe. This also leads into this Spider-Man finally redeeming himself by saving MJ from falling to her death off the collapsing Statue of Liberty, managing to repay the fact he didn't save Glenn by saving MJ and thus avoiding the MCU version going through his heartbreak. We see that this Spider-Man has finally let go of his grief and is ready to move on, what he really needed, taken from the conversations between himself and the cured Electro. You get to see that this Spider-Man appreciated the villains he had fought and even missed Dillon after his death, showing that he cared for Dillon by telling him he is not a nobody. In the end of it all, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man has come out of this a better, more happy man and returns to his universe with a sense of closure from Gwen's death, and now he is ready to start over.